All right, today I'm going to show you how to find a rubric on RenWeb after your parents log in, and we'll go over the rubric together, and then I'll show you how to complete the project using Microsoft Word. First thing you're going to do is have your parents log into RenWeb and find the documents on RenWeb. Okay, here we are on RenWeb. And since this is my account and not your parents' account, it might look a little different. But what you're looking for is Kentucky Today Brochure Project. And on mine, I'm going to click Preview here. Yours might look a little different. We're going to open it. And I'll go ahead and make it bigger so we can see the whole thing. And here it is, Kentucky Today Brochure Project. And this will be your next Kentucky History project. We'll fill in name, due date, and your topic once I print this out and give it to you at school. But here's the assignment. Your task is to create a brochure advertising a part of modern Kentucky life. You will choose one of the following topics. And you're going to think back to the chapter that we are working on in class. And in this chapter, we've talked about communication, we've talked about culture, sports and recreation, we've talked about music, dance, all that goes into culture. Your job will be to take what you've learned from your book and create something more with it using this brochure format. So you've got one of three choices: communication, culture, sports and recreation. Think about which topic you want. I think for our example today, we'll use sports and recreation just because it's kind of fun. And you're going to create a tri-fold brochure. Think about what tri means. Triangle, tricycle, three. It's going to have three sides to it. Now, a brochure is always front and back. So actually it's a total of 6 sides. I'm going to show you today how to create a brochure on the computer. You've got the option of typing or handwriting in print. I don't want cursive on this. Your project. Since many of you probably don't know how to use the computer to create a brochure because it's something you've never done before, I'm going to walk you through that today with this video. Let's look a little bit more at the rubric, and then I'll show you how to make your brochure. So we've chosen sports and recreation for our example. Given some ideas: college basketball, horse racing, what sports are kids involved in, adults. You could talk about the Bluegrass State Games. You could talk about hiking, swimming, any of that stuff that goes in sports and rec. You're going to use the correct brochure format, which we're about to show you and talk about. Text and pictures on all sides, and I will show you how to put in a picture as well as text. It needs to be neatly done. This doesn't just mean that the text is neat. It means that everything looks professional, of course, to the level that a 4th grader can do. You need to stay on topic. The questions are answered, so those are the questions we looked at up here. And only information important to your topic is included. If you're focusing on sports and recreation, I don't want to know about cell phones. That would be communication. Your pictures are related to the text, and there's new information that's not in your book. And you can see that this project is a total of 40 points. All right, if you have any questions about this rubric, we'll talk about it in class the next time I see you. Let me move on and show you how to create this rubric or this brochure. I'm just going to minimize the rubric, and I'll minimize RenWeb, and we're going to open up Microsoft Word. Now, Microsoft Word on my computer automatically takes me to a new document. This is not what I want for a brochure. I'm going to go to File and New. You see here blank document, which is what we usually use. But down here there's all these different kinds of templates. Brochures and booklets is what we want. So I'm going to double click on that. and then open up the brochures folder. In here, you will see lots of different template ideas for brochures. And it says underneath a little caption of what you can use that template for. Don't really look at that. Look at the design that you like. Keep in mind that some of these brochures can be changed more easily than others. For example, this one, this capsules design, you can change the colors very, very easily. Others, and the one I looked at was, let's see, this one, edgy smudge design. It's much harder to change and make it personalized for you. So, in order for me to show you how to change and personalize your brochure, we're going to pick this one, capsules design. It'll download for us. And here's our brochure. Now, you'll notice a bunch of gibberish here. We're going to ignore that for a minute. And scroll up. I'm actually going to change the zoom on here so we can see the whole thing together. And let's just scroll down and look. Okay, this one's not really exciting, but it's a simple one to start with and for me to be able to show you how to use the brochure template. Okay, let's first look at what parts of the brochure we're seeing. Now, you know that a brochure folds twice. It's got 3 panels to it, 3 on the front and 3 on the back. Well, when you create it on the computer, it's a little out of order. This side here is the front of the brochure, and here is the very back of your brochure. This side here is what you see when you first open it up. Down on the second page, you see the inside of the brochure. This will be on the left side when you open it. This column here is right in the middle when the brochure is open, and this side is all the way on the right once you open up that brochure. So let's start here in the title. Let me show you how to change some colors. I'm going to click once on that colored panel and then go to Format. Let's say I don't like that green color and I want orange instead. So I'm just going to click orange. There are also some more specialized colors down here. You can choose to have a star in the middle. You can choose a pale color. You could choose an outline instead. I'm going to go with that solid orange for this box, and I'll click on it. Now, I want the whole thing to be about the same, so I can change those other colors later. But now that you know how to do one, you'll know how to do the others as well. Product service information, that is telling me what the title of my brochure could be. Since my brochure is all about sports in Kentucky, I'm going to rename it Sports in Kentucky. And the way I renamed that was just by clicking in the box and then taking out the words that were there and putting in my own. Let me show you on this one. I click on the words. I'm going to highlight those words and delete it. Then I'm going to type a subtitle. I'm going to say a look at sports and recreation in the state of Kentucky. And that would be what we call our subtitle. Now, I don't really like the size of that, so I'm going to highlight and go up here, just like when you type regularly in Microsoft Word, and I'm going to make it bigger. I think I'll do the same thing with my title here. 18's not big enough. I'm going to make it, let's try 26. Okay. Then, if I look down here, I see company name. Well, obviously, my brochure is not about a company. So I'm going to click on company name. And I don't really want anything there. So I'll right-click and I'll hit cut. Oh, and I got rid of my orange box. So that's not what I meant to do. We'll go back and undo. Try again on company name is what I want to get rid of. And I cut it and it's gone. There's no text box there anymore. We'll just delete the telephone number. And now we have a cover to our brochure. I'm going to leave the back for right now and the back inside because the important part for me is the middle. Now, I would expect that when you create your brochure, you're going to do a rough draft first. I would suggest taking a blank piece of paper, fold it up, and make a sketch of what you want your brochure to look like. Each panel could be a different topic. For example, this panel might be about horse racing because that's a big sport in Kentucky. This panel might be about basketball. If you live in Lexington, you know that basketball is a big deal, especially in March. And this panel might be about, oh, I don't know, high school football, because that's pretty big in a lot of Kentucky. As you create your rough draft, think about what pictures you might put in your brochure and sketch out your words. You don't have to write complete sentences on your rough draft. You can just do bullet points. In fact, in your brochure, you can just do bullet points, but be careful about spelling and grammar, as always. Let's look at this picture. Let's say I don't like that picture because it has nothing to do with sports in Kentucky, but I definitely want a picture. Remember, on your rubric, each page has to have text and picture. All right, so since you're in Microsoft Word, you can put in clip art, and you don't have to cite where you got that clip art from. If you decide to get pictures from the internet, you will need to cite your sources. Your text should also be cited, and we've talked a lot about citing. We've talked about plagiarism, so be really careful. Let's say we want to put in clip art, and I want to look for horse racing. So I'm going to delete the last thing we looked for, and I'm going to type in horse racing. And I see pictures of horse racing. I like colors, so we're going to go with this one. That picture gets put in place of the one that had been there. And then I can make it bigger. I can make it a little smaller if that's too big. And I now have a picture of horse racing on, we'll say this would be my horse racing panel. And that's how you put pictures in. If you want to put in a picture that you've gotten from the internet, you can go to Insert Picture, and you will have saved that picture somewhere on your computer. If it's on your desktop, you can go to desktop. If it's in a folder, find that folder, and then you'll just click on Insert. I don't have anything that I want to put in from there right now, so we'll just exit out. Okay, I've shown you how to put pictures in. I've shown you how to change the color of the background. I've shown you how to take out text boxes, and the same goes for pictures, the same way to take it out. You can also, like let's say we don't want a logo here. Instead of right-clicking and delete, you can click the delete button on your keyboard. I've shown you which panel goes with which part of the brochure. Let me show you how to print when you're ready. Obviously mine is not finished, but when you're ready to print, you're going to go to File, Print, and you're going to print all pages, but we're not going to print one-sided. If we do, we'll have two sheets that we'll have to tape or glue together, and that won't look professional. So we're going to click on Print One-Sided and change it to Print on Both Sides. Flip the pages on the long edge. That's the way we always... Oh, actually, let's go to Print on Both Sides, Flip on Short Edge, because with the brochure, we want it to be back-to-back that way. You can always, if you mess up on this, you'll just have to print it again, and that's okay. Then we're going to go to Print. I'm not going to print now since mine is not complete, but that's how you're going to print it, so that you can then fold it after it's printed and turn it in. Let's go back and look at our brochure one more time. And it looks good. Before you turn your brochure in for your final project, make sure you check back on your rubric and check off all parts of this to make sure that you're going to get as many points as possible. Again, if you have questions, I will answer them the next time I see you in class. Have fun with this project.